major league arm. Nick Birdy is another arm with some MLB experience with the Pittsburgh Pirates and a very high ceiling. But in order to reach that ceiling, he just needs to stay healthy. Birdy can throw his fastball for 97 miles per hour, to pair with a slider that he usually throws around 87 to 88 miles per hour. Both pitches have 60-plus grades per Fangraphs, but the former Tommy John victim underwent thoracic outlet syndrome surgery that kept him out most of last season, adds yet another large injury to his arm. Out of the players with more than 1 year of MLB service, Michael Feliz has some of the most potential. Acquired by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the Cole trade, Feliz has yet to put it all together. He has at times flashed the potential to be extremely effective, but has also struggled mightily just as much. Last year has probably been Feliz's best season of his career. In 56 and a third innings, Feliz had a 3.99 ERA, 4.71 FIP, and 1.26 WHIP. But he had great ERA estimators with a 3.79 SIERA and 3.38 DRA. That's mostly because Feliz had a strong strikeout rate, 30.5%, and opponent exit velo in the top 83rd percentile at 86.6 miles per hour. The biggest issue Feliz had in 2019 was the long ball. He allowed 11 home runs, but he was a bit unlucky seeing as he had an X slugging of 379, which is in the top 70th percentile, to oppose his actual slugging percentage of 413. Feliz's best pitch is his mid-90s fastball, and he also throws a pretty solid slider to go with it. Occasionally he'll throw a changeup, although it is the least used of his three pitches. The Pittsburgh Pirates also have Kyle Crick, who had an outstanding 2018 but struggled in 2019. In 2018, Crick had a 2.39 ERA, 3.14 FIP, and 1.12 WHIP in 60 and a third innings of work. He also had a 25.5% strikeout rate and impressive 0.4 home runs per nine. But last year, Crick had a 4.96 ERA, 5.95 FIP, and 1.55 WHIP in 49 innings. After posting a 0.4 home runs per nine in 2018, that rose to 1.8 in 2019. He also walked a ton more batters as his walk rate went from 9% to 15.5%. Now, yes, Crick was injured, and I'm sure the clubhouse drama that he was involved in didn't help. But Crick also got a bit unlucky. Crick is still in the top 94th percentile of exit velocity, expected batting average, hard hit rate, and in the top 85th percentile of expected slugging percentage. He also has an impressive slider that's movement is 19.7 inches of horizontal break, 112% above the average, and has plus movement on his fastball and sinker. Now, these are the Pittsburgh Pirates' best options currently with professional experience, but they added some even more potential back-end bullpen arms in the most recent draft. Eventually, Jack Hartman and Nick Garcia could find themselves as one of the Pittsburgh Pirates' many long-term options for setting up and closing out games for the Pittsburgh Pirates bullpen. And the 2020 Pittsburgh Pirates, this is going to be the strength of the team. And this is why when I tell people don't sleep on the Pirates in 2020, it's really for one reason and one reason only. Not one reason only, but a huge part of that reason is because of the vast potential this bullpen holds. Starting at the top, and again, long-term Keone Kela is unlikely to be with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but when you look at the names and the arms that the Pirates can roll with, Blake Cederlind, Nick Mears, Jeff Hartlieb, Clay Holmes, Nick Birdy, Michael Feliz, and Kyle Crick. That is going to be a fantastic bullpen. And you pair that with Jameson Taillon coming back next year, and a rotation that will include Jameson Taillon, Joe Musgrove, Trevor Williams, Mitch Keller, and a Chad Cole in there too. There's going to be exciting days ahead for Pirates fans. And a big reason, and really we've been spoiled with excellent bullpens since 2011. A big reason is going to be because of the bullpen, and the reason why they're going to win a lot more games than I think people are predicting in 2020. Could speedster center field prospect Jared Oliva make an impact for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the shortened 2020 season? As the Pittsburgh Pirates report to PNC Park to begin to prepare for the upcoming 60-game season, Jarrod Dyson will be the team's starting center fielder. However, it is not guaranteed that Dyson will man center field for the entire season. With the Pittsburgh Pirates unlikely to contend, and Dyson on a one-year contract, he is a player they could look to move at the August 31st trade deadline. If Dyson is moved, this could open the door for center field prospect Jared Oliva. Oliva, after all, may play a big part of the Pirate future, and 2020 needs to be about the future. While Oliva will not be one of the 40 players working out at PNC Park with the start of Spring Training 2.0, this does not put him in any less of a position to make an impact in 2020. Just being a member of the team's 60-man pool player does that. Oliva is coming off a strong season with AA Altoona in 2019. He hit for a .277 average, .352 on base, .398 slugging to go with a .123 WRC plus and 36 stolen bases. As you can conclude from the stolen base total, speed is a big part of Oliva's game. This is a big reason why he rates out as a plus defender in center field. Fangraphs gives the Pittsburgh Pirates center field prospect a 60 grade for his speed, 55 for fielding, and a 50 for throwing. So, in addition to having a strong glove in center field, Oliva has a good arm as well. While the long-term center field of the future for the Pittsburgh Pirates likely remains Travis Swaggerty, in the short term the answer could be Oliva. If Dyson is traded before the August 31st trade deadline, this could open the door for Oliva to make his MLB debut. If not for the coronavirus pandemic, Oliva would have started the season with AAA Indianapolis. More than likely, he would have been a slam dunk to make his MLB debut in 2020. While that may no longer be a guarantee, the opportunity still exists for him to make an impact with the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2020. And what I said a little bit earlier in the segment is 2020 needs to be about the future and figuring out the future. And we say this all the time when it comes to statistics. Don't pay attention to spring training stats. Don't pay attention to September stats. Say it all the time. And there are countless examples of guys who have dominated in spring training, then been an absolute flunk in the regular season. There are plenty of examples of players who have slumped so hard in spring training that had all-star caliber seasons. Same goes for September call-ups. And obviously it won't be the same as in years past, with the roster only going to be expanded to 28 men instead of the usual 40 man. You always say don't pay attention to the September stats for those call-ups because we have seen time and time again how those players go on. And, Kevin Newman, for example, he was called up in 2018, really struggled, but we saw what he's capable of in a full season in 19. Pablo Reyes, 2018 September call-up, was amazing. 2019, we all know what happened, and now he's been suspended for PEDs. And will be out until at least mid-April 2021. So we see all of this, and we recognize all of this. The thing that I want to caution people on in the 60-game season is maybe not hanging your hat on the stats too much. Now, this is the regular season, and obviously it is a little bit more meaningful than spring training or September. And I think a big part of 2020 needs to be the future. And, of course, the Pirates could be in contention. Now, if they are not in contention by mid to late August, near the August 31st trade line, there are 3 players 2 to 3 players. The two definite players are Keone Kela and Gerard Dyson. Following that, it's Adam Frazier. And I think the interesting thing for Frazier is where Derek Shelton goes with his DH. If he wants Adam Frazier to be the DH, then I am all in for keeping Frazier. But if Frazier is blocking Cole Tucker, then I would like to see Frazier traded. So the three biggest, I guess, trade pieces that I would like to see moved of the August 31st deadline is Keone Kela, Gerard Dyson, and potentially Adam Frazier. What that would do for the Pirates moving into the future is in the bullpen open up some more spots for the guys of the future we talked about, at Blake Cederland, and Nick Mears, and Jeff Hartley, Clay Holmes. It would open up the doors for them. And when it comes to trading Gerard Dyson, as we talked about, that would open up the door for Jared Oliva. Now, it will be interesting for me to see what route the Pirates go if they trade Gerard Dyson. And this will say a lot, I think, about Cherington, because they do have other options to go to that's name isn't Jared Oliva. They do have Guillermo Heredia, who was initially slated to be the starting center fielder following the Marte trade before they signed Dyson. But they have Guillermo Heredia. They have JT Riddle, who can play center field. They have Jason Martin. And I would say fourth in a depth chart would be Jared Oliva. But the thing that I think is important to remember, especially if we are out of contention by that August 31st deadline, is Guillermo Heredia going to be the future center fielder of the Pirates? No. Is JT Riddle going to be the future center fielder of the Pirates? No. Is Jason Martin? I would put him higher on that pecking order, but I would love to see Jared Oliva get full-time reps if Dyson is traded. I mean, he stole 36 bases last season. He's a speedster. And the other thing, too, and I think it's important to remember, we talked about this last week, is the future of right field and what's going to happen with Gregory Polanco. He has really two more opportunities to put things together because the Pirates have options on him in 2022 and 2023. So we know he's going to be on the team through 2021. So could Jared Oliva get an opportunity in right? Because we do know that Travis Swaggerty is the future in center. And we also talked about potentially moving O'Neal Cruz to right field. But what excites me more than anything about this Pirates team is just the bevy of young talent that they have in the minor leagues that are just so close to Pittsburgh. We talked about the relief pitchers. We've talked at length about the middle infield prospects, and now Jared Oliva, Travis Swaggerty, O'Neal Cruz. Like, there's some serious talent coming up through the system right now, and there is a lot to get excited about. And when we think about 2020, and if we think about, a month into the season, if they are clearly already out of contention, you have to have Jared Oliva being the starting center fielder because there's no better time than 2020. No better time than this 60-game sprint, if they're out of contention, to get a look at guys, to get a prolonged look. A month into the season, they'll still have all of September to get a look at some guys. To get a look at Jared Oliva full-time in center field and sort of diagnose the situation for 2021 and where they want to go in center field. Because we know Dyson and Heredia aren't the long-term answers, but all of us certainly could be, and Jason Martin could be. Travis Swaggerty is coming up, and he appears to be the long-term guy. But Oliva deserves some looks, and so does Jason Martin, for that matter. And I feel terrible for Martin and the injury that he suffered early in September last year against the Marlins. But I think it's going to be time, if they're out of contention, to see what Jared Oliva can do. See what he can do. And if he shows out, then you know who your center fielder is going to be for 2021. And if he doesn't, you can put him in competition in camp, spring training 2021. But then you'll know that you can, still look at a Guillermo Heredia or a JT Riddle in center and figure out what's going to happen until Travis Swaggerty